It is day 23 and the build is almost done. Well, at least the body part of it. So all the welding is nearly done. I have the welder out because today I'm going to patch up just a few small sections that haven't been addressed yet. I have this wheel well here. This I did 3 years ago, about 3 years ago. It needs to be cleaned up. I just sprayed it. It was raining when I did it. I sprayed it with like a Napa spray undercoating stuff, and that stuff is trash. You know, look at it, it just flakes off. It's like literally like spraying dirt on it. It comes right off. So I'm gonna get rid of this, clean this all off, grind this all down, and then cover it with fiberglass. This hole needs to be addressed. I had one on the other side as well, and that's because water gets into the engine compartment and then it sits. There's like a little channel that runs along the back by the firewall, and in there the water kind of sits and then it ends up rusting. So I had one underneath by the battery box. There was one there, and then I fixed that one up, welded in new metal. So I'm going to do the same thing with this side, and then this side of the truck is all done. So all this is all finished. It's all finished, so it looks pretty good. Here's a fiberglass work for the taillights. So these are done too. I just need to clean them up, put body filler on there, and spray it with primer. So it's all sealed in. There's one little section, you can't really see it, but up here that I need to weld in a little piece of metal in there, and then fix that up with fiberglass as well. But sand this all down, apply body filler to it, you know, clean up the, you know, it's a tight fit right now. So what I'm gonna do is I have to clean this all up, make sure it's a little bit better, give us a little bit more room, wiggle room, and put that in there, and then remove this part is where the like a little hook connects to the spare tire carrier on the W460 G-wagons. So I'm not using that. I'm gonna get a different bumper with the actual tire mount on that. So remove that and clean that up. And also, so this is also the second part of that attachment. So it attaches to here, attaches to the bumper, a little section, and then it hooks onto there, and it's like a latch. So what I'm going to do is probably keep this, and the reason I'm going to do that is because this is a sturdy mount, and it goes through the body, and, you know, and it attaches pretty well. And I might make a ladder off of this. You know, I can put the ladder in here, and I don't know, I'll see. You know, I might want to do it that way. Have a little ladder so I have access to the roof if I get a roof mount, or like a roof rack or something. So this side is all done. You know, I just have to clean off this, reshape this a little bit, you know, do a little bit of shaping. And the truck is almost completed. I have to get in here and fix all this fiberglass still. So, very excited. Inside, there's the fiberglass in here. So I'm gonna have to sand this all down and then cover this whole thing with Herculiner. So I still have to do fiberglass work here, get rid of these little, you know, anywhere where I have welds and things like that, clean that up, fiberglass over it. But I don't need to necessarily address that right now. Right now I just want to do the exterior stuff. So today I'm going to fix up these corners and weld in whatever metal needs to be welded in. Alright, so I have the area all cleaned up. Here's the previous patch that I did, and it's welded in pretty well, so I don't need to really address that at all. But I did clean it up because I had that Napa undercoating that literally was just flaking off. It's awful. So I'm going to clean this off a little bit more, apply fast etch to everything. Here's the new spot that needs to be addressed. And so for this one, I just cut out a quick little patch to fit in there. I'm gonna weld everything in place, shape it with a hammer, and then finish off the welds, and then cover the whole thing with fiberglass. And I left a little area around it because the fiberglass will not stick to this rubberized undercoating, so I needed a little bit of bare metal around that. So I got the bare steel there, and then after that, it's coating everything up. And then I'm gonna coat everything with Herculiner underneath there once I fiberglass it. So that's all patched in. So now what I need to do is put in some fiberglass over this whole section, and then weld it in. So here's where the damage occurred. So if you look down there, it's all rusted. So you can see where my patch is. So that rotted out. You know, there's like a little section there. It just accumulates, you know, debris. Could be little pieces of leaves, whatnot, and moisture sits there and it starts to rust. So now that that's sealed up, I'll just spray this with etching primer in there because it's kind of a pain to get to. Maybe I'll put in some fiberglass. We'll see. You know, I fiberglassed the other side when I created that patch panel here. So that's fiberglassed in now after I welded in the metal. The same thing happened on this side. So it's getting there. Got a couple hours, and hopefully I'll get it all squared away, and it'll be ready for primer. And then I'm ordering my monster liner by the end of the week. So I'll order that, and then hopefully get it sometime next week, and then maybe that weekend I'll coat the truck. So when I initially did this corner, I accidentally left a gap here, and I was deciding whether to just fill it in with fiberglass or to weld in metal. I like welding in metal instead, so I have something solid there, and then I can fiberglass over that, so it's like double the strength. So I welded in some metal here, just a patch, and then it was longer, so I folded it, cut it here, folded it, and made it into like a little corner piece right there. So, you know, hammer that in place and then weld it in place. And then I created another little patch right here. Because this door, the gap between the door and the body here was really, really close, and that was metal. It wasn't fiberglass, so I had to bang this in the sheet, so this kind of popped off and left a little gap. So what I did was I welded in more metal here. So now I just gotta glass this up. It looks sloppy, but it is functional, it is strong, and then once the glass is on there, you'll never know what was there. This section on the other side, when I created that patch panel, I didn't have it folded over, so it was just a flat sheet. And so there was a gap here that I need to fix up, right? So this was rusted out. I just ground this all out and put fast etch on it. And then this section needs to be filled in. So I'm gonna fill that in with this little patch that I made. There we go. So it's gonna go in like that. I'm gonna weld this in right now and then cover that with glass as well. So the back corner will be done. The fiberglass, once it was all sanded down, ends up looking pretty nice. You see some of my spots that I went to bare metal. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put Bondo over this and then continue shaping it. So it'll be all covered up and looking good. I just need to fiberglass that part first before I get to the Bondo. And then same with this side. I'll put more fiberglass over this, seal it up, and then sand this whole section down. All right, I didn't get it finished. I got a lot done in a short amount of time, but so I sanded down the corners, sanded this down, and then applied body filler in there. I did some patching in there. I had a welding in the doors and also over here. So all that's sealed up now. Now I have to go, so I don't have time to do this. But what I will do is I will prime everything, just because there's some bare metal that's exposed, and if it starts raining, I'm not going to be here for at least a week. So let me just cover everything up, and then when I come by the next time, I'm going to sand everything down, apply body filler to all the little holes in the fiberglass, and then sand that down, and then prime it again, and then it should be done. Okay, so I will add more body filler here, shape this, and I took this part off because it's not necessary. I have a bumper that's going to have the spare on there, and the front I patched in or welded in a patch there, and so that's covered up with fiberglass as well. So that's all sealed up. Everything is sealed up. There should be no more welding on this truck. For the most part, it's done. I will order my monster liner next week, and then in the next couple weeks or so, I should have the car completely covered up.